So
Yeah.
it is hard, but it's hard to get past that of what do people think about me? We're societal creatures. We want to live in these little societies and we perceive ourselves based off how other people treat us or react to us. And that's where we get our own self-image from. So that's a hard one to get past, people judging us. But
I used to be ashamed of being able to talk about this, and but now knowing that I'm able to save lives by being able to talk about this and be able to share my experiences,
yeah,
after, like I said, my parents kind of came up to me and they're like, dude, do you want help? And at that point I was so broken that I was like, yes, I want help. I will do whatever it is. Like if someone tells me to jump, I'm already in the air saying how high.
yeah,
So it was I didn't want to feel like this anymore. And at that point, I want to say, you know, try to beat that point where someone else has to ask you if you need help, but just go ask help yourself or go seek
yeah.
help. There's, like you're going to say, there's the hotline, there's treatment centers. For me personally, I always thought drugs and alcohol is the problem, but the problem
Mm.
isn't drugs and alcohol. It's actually it has to do with me, what's internal, the things that I
Yeah,
wasn't able to deal with. Some people need AA or NA to get off of this, and some people might just need therapy. Um,
yeah,
some people just need friends. That
yeah.
that sometimes is the biggest thing, is that they just need someone else to be able to talk about their problems. As men, in relationships too, I've someone was telling me too, it's like you do have your significant other if you're in a relationship, but you should have your brothers to lean on. That are like a therapist to actually talk about more of the big ones.
Yeah,
You and your relationship should be between you both, of being
yeah,
able to help each other out, but you shouldn't be putting all that pressure and what's going on them, because
100%.
they
Yeah,
too also have their problems.
they are not a professional.
Yeah. I don't
Your
know.
wife or your
Maybe your
husband
wife
is
might be a
might
therapist,
be.
but
If your
she's
wife's a
not getting
therapist,
paid to hear your shit. So
yeah. That's
uh,
hilarious. I bet any therapist wife out there is gonna show that like clip to her husband. Like, look, bro, stop it. So let me ask you, Nico, what are some of the things that you did that was able to help? What was this help that you sought out after these events that has helped you out?
so one, I checked myself into a sober living. They actually wouldn't release me from the psych ward unless I went and got help, which was really beneficial because
Oh yeah.
um I being a man, we're stubborn. I don't want to do what people tell me what to do. I want to do it my way or the highway, like kick
Yeah,
rock.
yeah.
So I got put in this highly structured sober living. It was all dudes. And I actually recommend, if you're going into a sober living, you should either kind of stick with your same gender. If you're kind of on the in between on the spectrum, um, I really don't have advice for that one yet, because that is kind of a mixed one on mixed co-eds. The way I say it that way is because you basically want the opposites. You want to be with the same sex, so like
Yeah.
you are not having distractions while you're trying to get help. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
a lot of times, guys will get into, our girls, they'll get into a sober living. It's a mixed co-ed, and next thing you know, before they're getting help, they're running away from their problems because they think jumping in a relationship with this other newcomer is going to help them out. So
Yeah. And
that's kind
but that's a crutch, dude.
of,
I've
yeah,
seen so many times relationships when you're trying to get better can become a crutch. And when that if that relationship goes, you might be sober with them, you might be doing well with them, but if that person leaves, your sobriety, your mental health is dependent upon that crutch.
yeah.
You don't
Jump,
ever learn to walk on your own.
jumping back just right into another toxic relationship instead of
Oh
being
yeah.
able to heal your traumas or your escape from that.
Uh,
Uh, Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
So
there's so many things I want to say, but I'm gonna.
no, yeah, dude, go please.
But no, I was gonna say like if you're in a bad place mentally, you're not able to see good qualities in a person to date.
Mm,
So if you have a if you're in that toxic place in your own life that you have to, get healing from, anybody you choose is most likely going to be the wrong person. Not 100% of the time, right? There's always somebody that's, meets somebody and they're a good person and they want to see them change, but most of the time you don't even know what good qualities are in a partner. So if you're in a bad place, I don't recommend getting into a relationship. If you're not in one already, you need to get healing first. You need to figure out what does it mean to be you, whatever your name is, Nico. You need to learn what it's like to be Nico, single, sober, healthy. Me, Ruben, single, sober, healthy before I was married. Before you go and pursue a relationship.
yes, 100% agree with that one. Two was once I was in the sober living, they were AA based, and that was something that I needed to go through. Not everyone is gonna have drugs and alcohol as their problem, but the way that AA is based on, it was able to do like one, you find a higher power, or you're admitting to like you have a problem basically.
Yeah,
And moving on is that you needed to find a higher power greater than yourself. And I related to you on how you're saying when you're 16, introduced to um the Bible, and like you kind of wanted to find seek out God. I my upbringing was a little bit different. I my grandma's like a Buddhist. My dad always claimed he was Jewish because he didn't want to give me money. My parents my mom's Catholic. I went to a Mormon high school, and but I grew up in a Christian community. And
yeah,
so my base religion on the side, basically finding a higher power. So it's something greater than yourself,
yeah.
that can bring healing. So I am a Christian myself. I don't want to like do like propaganda like this is the religion you need, but
I do.
ultimately my thing is saying, yes, I know that's part of what we should be doing, is being a spokesman. But for
No,
mental health wise, I want
yeah,
to say finding a higher power. um Moving
yeah.
on, when we do a thorough inventory on ourselves. So basically I'm going through everything of all my traumas, all my resentments, of everything, of like relationships, the harm that I've caused from stealing money from my dad, like under he left $20 on the coffee table. Um, Everything of all my wrongdoings, and laying them out on paper and being able to reflect on them.
Oh yeah.
The next step after that was being able to I mean, in AA, you get a sponsor, which is someone like that is basically um, someone that's going to guide you through this book and help you out. And
So are these the 12 steps you're talking about? You're talking
yes,
about
I
going through
am
12 steps?
actually.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying that. I know I kind of get ahead of myself on
Don't worry. That's why there's
on
two of us.
speak. Yeah,
Both
and
of us together make one good mind. Right?
thank you. Um, and you're able to, your mentor, or your sponsor, you're able to bounce off everything that's going on through the harm you've caused. And and at the end of all of this, you're able to pray and ask for forgiveness. And dude, to get off everything that's on my chest or in the back of my mind stored that I didn't was able to process, dude, that shit fucking was the most biggest stress reliever I've ever felt. I have felt like all the weight of the world on my shoulders was relieved, and it saved my life, I want to say. And
Wow.
uh it's being able to talk about all this stuff. Not only was I doing AA on the 12 steps, I also was in therapy also. I did need to talk a little bit more about what was going on. And with therapy, dude, a lot of times they ask you questions about what's going on, which could be if you got good friends, they would understand this is how it's supposed to work, is you talk about your problems and you're able to come up with the solutions on your own. Ultimately you are the one that is coming up with a solution. They can give you suggestions, but ultimately you're making the decision on what to do with it. So I want to say it's one of those things is we need to be able to communicate and talk about our problems, which is the main point on that.
In the New Testament, there's a verse in First John where it talks about bringing things to light. It's like, man, anything in the darkness, it's going to continue to grow and continue to fester. But when you bring something to light, it becomes light. It is now out in the open. And so I think being able to talk through it and work through things and even hearing people's suggestions, now you get to actually be able to deal with it and make a decision. And that is one of the, I think, first steps in actually having some mental, emotional, spiritual healing.
Mhm.
But if it
It's
doesn't come out, bro, you get to sweep it under the rug.
that's another thing too, is like, like not everyone might be doing AA, but I know like if you're in a nice church and you have a pastor that's really caring and can have the time to show up for you, like these are the guys you can have the talks with and be able to get
Yeah.
out what's going on. Or like being Catholic, you go to confession and you're able to like get out what's bothering you, and it's like no judgment. It's like they're listening, but you don't even see them on like if they're like judgment. Some people get subconscious about what they're
Yeah.
talking about, and then they feel judged, and because they feel judged they start to feel shame from it.
That's a hard thing to get past, man, because
It
I
is.
heard a quote one time that I like and I latched onto. The guy said, "Other people's opinions about me are not my problem." Or none.
Yeah.
So it is hard, but it's hard to get past that of what do people think about me? We're societal creatures. We want to live in these little societies, and we perceive ourselves based off how other people treat us or react to us, and that's where we get our own self-image from. Yeah, so that's a hard one to get past. People judging us, but for some of us, we have to get past that. I remember one guy because I went through a substance abuse program when I was in prison, and I did that for like 11 months, I think. While I was getting my GED in there, I remember one of the guys, like this guy was like, I don't know, he was just on before he was just on drugs. He would like manipulate people. He was one of those people that were like, what's the word? They take advantage of people. They manipulate people. A narcissist.
Mm.
He was a narcissist, right? Right. Um, but he found healing. The dude was a Christian now. He was running this substance abuse program, and he would always talk about like, man, like I used to really care about my self-image and that people saw me as the person that was on top or the person that was in control, the person in power. But he said, but now, um, I I could just air out my laundry, he used to say. And he was telling us because he wanted us to be comfortable with it. He's like, look, I know some of you guys, you don't want to air out your laundry in this, quote unquote, in this setting because you're afraid, like, what if somebody walks away and talks about me? And he would
Mm.
always say, look, if you want to deal with my dirty laundry, bro, that's weird, but that's on you, you know? And
Yeah.
the thing is, like, for you and for your own mental health, you have to be able to air out your laundry. You have to be able to just pull that stuff from under the rug and be able to talk about it, or else it's never going to get dealt with. And you can't care what other people are going to do with that information. Not just go talk to anybody, right? But we do have to get past that point where I'm afraid of what other people are going to think about me. I'm afraid of what other people are going to do with this information. For me, it's like, man, I need to get healing. I need to get better. So I need to find somebody to talk to and get this off my chest, bring this thing to light.
I think we're going back to the same point, is that it comes to communication and being able to talk
Yeah.
about it. So, it's we're men.
we
We don't talk about our problems.
don't have problems. We are the
Yeah, we don't.
problem. Well, um, so for you, it was going through 12 steps helped you. You went to a
Yes.
sober living home and then you had therapy.
Yes.
And is therapy something you still do now or
No,
what?
so going on to that, I had a therapist, and then I had a psychiatrist too. So I was doing I was on happy pills, and I was on Prozac for a little bit. And I am so against taking medication. And it wasn't until I heard some of my other friends, family friends that do construction also, that they jumped on Prozac for a little bit. There's some other ones that are kind of different generic brands also, but
Oh yeah.
ultimately when you're going with your doctor, the doctor's going to be able to prescribe you something to help you out. So if it's not working, you talk with them. They're going to be like, hey, let's try this. Let's lean you off on the Prozac. Let's try you on this different medication, see how it works out until you basically find the right level of medication you need. When you find this and you find your balance, you're able to like actually be in a stable mood where you're actually able to like process all this trauma.
Mm.
After I've done I wanted to say I was on it for 2 years. And then I slowly leaned off. I was talking to my doctor. I was like, look, I never wanted to stay on this. So now that I was able to process a lot of my feelings, I think that I'm a lot more stable and was able to do my healing. Can you
Mm.
help me out? And like, let's slowly lean off. So we just slowly tapered off on the medication. And for someone that was so against it, I'm gonna just have to suggest, like, dude, this could really help you out in the
Yeah.
longevity of things. If it's going through just a short term of just to help you get back onto your right state of mind and
Yeah.
stable mood, then please do it to help yourself.
Yeah.
For yeah. Um, the other
Yeah.
big point too I want to say is that when you're doing therapy and whatnot, you should definitely find a therapist that you are comfortable talking with. Some guys prefer having like a woman as the
Oh,
someone
to
to
talk
talk
to you.
to. Yeah, or it might be a man, because it's just like you start talking about like other traumas, like some things we did go about were like sexual like past relationships or like maybe
Yeah.
fantasies and stuff like that. And some people aren't comfortable talking about that kind of things.
Yeah.
We always kind of joked on the people that were like in AA is just because it's like we had such a hard like upbringing, like BDSM was like this big thing. And like it was people are ashamed to talk about that kind of stuff when reality is like as humans we're all sexually like active out there. And
Although you shouldn't be.
I know, like
Don't
Corinthians,
get married.
right,
No.
where like do not touch your woman
Uh,
till marriage.
but there's a lot of trauma that comes from that, dude. Like I think we do live in a society that promotes sexual promiscuity and just sleeping around. And I mean, you turn on YouTube, you hear these guys talking all the time, like, hey, you got to try it before you buy it. You got to, they recommend sleep with your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You got to live with them. How do you know you guys are gonna get along? And it's just garbage information, absolute garbage information. Because a relationship and a marriage, I'm gonna get back to the trauma in a second, but a relationship and a marriage doesn't work because you get along with the person all the time. It doesn't. It works when you're able to work through things and you come to that point of getting along. It's a dying of self to this other person, but both people have to do it. So if you think you have to go ahead.
I totally agree with you. I feel a
Yeah.
lot of these relationships aren't working, is because a lot of times they just feel like, what, it something one went wrong right away.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to work through it, it's like, F it, I'm out of here, and bail,
Yeah.
and just be like, oh, there's so many other women and whatnot out there. Instead of like giving it a chance and trying to work through these
Yeah.
process through these things. Um
Dude,
yeah, I mean, dude, we
I'm
could
gonna
whole nother podcast on that
I'm
stuff.
gonna give the quick the quick my quick 2 cents on the relationship thing. One, you have to be somebody that you have to be the right person to get married. You have to work on yourself first. If you're not in a place to get married, don't get married. Right? That's it. you're gonna be the problem. You're gonna be the problem,
Yeah.
right? Don't ruin somebody else's life because you don't want to work on yourself. Two, you have to actually know, you have to know what to look for in a partner, not a pretty face, not a good looking dude that has a nice job or a car. If you don't know the internal qualities of a person to look for, then you're not going to find them. That's just the reality of it. So you actually have to do some work. We don't live in a society that actually demonstrate or teaches most of the time what to look for in a partner for longevity. I did a lot of reading, a lot of research over 2 years before I even got back on the dating market to find a spouse that wanted to get married. Um, but you have to know, you have to be the type of person that has the qualities to make it through a hard marriage, and you have to know the qualities, or you should know the qualities of a person that could make it through, a marriage. And you don't have to live with the person before. You shouldn't live with the person before because, oh man, I'm gonna go off on a tangent. You should be able to work through problems with your spouse. You're gonna make vows to this person. You're gonna say, "Hey, till death do us part." And this is why they have to have the right qualities. You have to have the right qualities and be at a place in your life where you guys have both grown to be in a place where you guys could be in a healthy marriage. That doesn't mean a marriage where you don't fight. That doesn't mean a marriage where everything's perfect. There's gonna be some chaos. There's gonna be some disagreements. There's gonna be some sleeping on the couch. But you have to be the type of person and with the type of person that's able to work through those hard things, through the tears, through the hurt. And because I'll tell you from experience, dude, my first couple of years of marriage were very difficult. But I knew I picked a person that I could work through those difficulties with. You're going to go through difficulties because you have problems and your spouse has problems. And you ain't sharing them with each other in the beginning. You don't even know they're there until your spouse points them out, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I'm going to stop on that. But a lot of these relationships, people don't realize are the very things that are causing trauma in their lives. We don't understand what sexual trauma is. We think it's, being abused when you're a kid, and it is. But it's also being misled by society to think that you have to go and have sex. That if you're a virgin in high school, then you're some lame. You're not
Like
the cool dude.
you need to go out and like you need to hit every piece of tail that's out there or something.
Yeah.
Like
But then
it's all this stigma that's
but
being
then now
propaganda right now.
it is. But now in your life, when all those high school people are gone because they're not most likely not gonna be in your life, and it's just you and your relationships, and you don't realize that you're dealing with these traumas of bonding with people and ripping apart, bonding with people and ripping apart. And that's it is a whole nother conversation, but that causes trauma. And I do recommend people go and really research relationships from quality people, quality psychiatrists, psychologists, sociologists, relationship professionals, marriage professionals, Christian counselors, marriage counselors. Do some research to how it affects you, because the very thing that could be holding you back in life and mentally straining you is the fact that you keep getting into these relationships, keep sleeping around, you keep shooting yourself in the foot and wonder why you're crippled. So, man, little piece of
Yeah, no,
advice.
I totally agree with that. And you know what? I a lot of friends that are actually doing marriage therapy or couple counseling, before jumping into the marriage. I think they're a lot more happier and a
Oh
lot
yeah.
more successful rate on being able to understand how a marriage should be and being able to
Yeah.
communicate, dude. Like we're going always back to this
Yeah.
first thing of like, dude, communication's a huge key.
Oh yeah.
And if you're not able to talk about how you're feeling, and like if you're getting shamed about your feelings or how you feel about a situation, then there's something to look at there of like
Yeah.
your either significant others not able to um I guess like be able to listen to like what you're feeling at that moment, or that you're feeling such a shame and guilt like that you can't say what you're feeling without having like feeling like you're doing something wrong about it.
Oh yeah.
That is something like we should all be able to talk about and do. You know, there's a
Yeah.
difference of just like, yeah, my feelings got hurt. Is it really going to affect me too? Is a big one. You know, like someone made a joke, right? Versus someone's did something wrong to me that I my feelings were like, you know what, that's not right, and I need to state it out to them like, hey, you're crossing a boundary, and I'm not gonna let this happen anymore. So,
Yeah.
um, you got to
So
identify
let's,
the difference of those two. So
oh yeah. So let's just hop back on track. So for you, it was therapy, talk to this psychiatrist, talk to this psychologist, right? And you went through these 12 steps, helped you out, beneficial. You had some family and friends supporting you at the time. Um,
got a
so-
sponsor.
oh heck yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
he's
It's
one of my
important.
best friends, dude. Like he's seen it all. You know, also going through the sober living houses, I was able to like have friends that I can reflect what's going on in my life too. You
Yeah.
know, like they became good friends because, not saying like trauma bonding, but we were able to like share everything, like what was
Yeah.
going on with our lives. And I respect these dudes that they had the fucking courage and were brave enough to like go through the same shit that I was going through on trying to get
Yeah.
healthy and live a better life. Um,
Yeah. No, it's good.
so on, keep going on, dude. It's not only just getting help on that. It's dude, you need to look at, there's two things that we just touched. It was I like to say body, mind, and spirit, right? So the mind, um, we're talking about getting therapy, we're reading up on what we can do to better ourselves. The spirituality side is being able to find God, a higher power, something that's out of our control, like that we can give it up on. And then we talk about body. Body is so important to our, like, dude, this is, we only get one life to live. We might as well live a healthy life. Um,
Yeah.
you know, you need to work out. You need to work out, because when the other two are in balance, but you're not working out your body, your mind can go off on like course because you're not working out. And you know, we get endorphins, we get a high from
Yeah.
working out. And you know, sometimes not everyone's as active as maybe who I am. Like I'm, some people think I'm crazy, dude. I'll just go out for a 10-mile run on a Sunday
No,
afternoon.
no, you are crazy. That's no,
Yeah.
that's a
I'm an extremist.
they
That's
don't
what
think
comes
they
out.
know. A 10
Yeah.
mile run, gosh. I only run from
Yeah.
the cops and my mama.
Yeah.
Yes.
She pull out the slipper.
Oh
Um,
yeah, the chancla come flying across the room.
yeah. But yeah, dude, body is a huge point of it. So it's not just working out, but it also could be eating healthy, dude. You shouldn't be putting all these toxic foods. You shouldn't just be like eating ice cream to feel better, you know, like it's, dude, you eat healthy, you work out, and when you have
Yeah.
this perfect triangle, body, mind, and spirit, I promise you, life gets in you. Man, I can't even explain the high and like how
That's
happy
yeah,
I feel on living my life. You know, like when
that's good.
something bad happens and I kind of look back at like what's body, mind, and spirit, it's like, yeah, I might be feeling bad, but I'm able to jump back on track if I'm doing these three things. You know, like I'm checking
Yeah.
on the mind, I'm checking in with friends, I'm communicating what my problems are, or maybe I call my sponsor and be like, hey, dude, like some stuff came up. I need some help, and he'll give me suggestions. Even my parents, I'm able to talk about what's going on. But then it's like, oh, did I work out this week? Dude, I didn't work out like half the week. So of course I'm feeling shitty on Wednesday, because normally I'm like, hey, at least I'm doing some push-ups, I'm going for a run, a bike ride, being out in nature in the sun. That's a huge one, dude. You know, like we should be out in the sun getting some vitamin D. And
Yeah.
when you focus on your body, not only that you start working out, you start feeling good, you're going to start looking good because you're putting in the work and time and effort into yourself.
We all
So,
like looking good.
oh yeah, bro, it's summer's around the corner, dude. Look,
Get that
look
little
at
hottie
the out
body.
here, dude. I gotta look
Yep,
strong, when I'm like out there.
that's
Um,
right.
so it's you got to look at this whole thing as we're not going to be perfect. It's going to take time to figure out how to get all these points in a perfect balance. But now that we're stating out what we're talking about, what we need, now you're able to execute like, hey, these are the 3 points that I need to look at, and this is how I what I can do to get better with them. Um, and moving on from where I was broken, I wanted to die, and I was over it, to this point where it's like, look, I found the solutions, I'm putting them into action, and I'm living a life that I'm happy, and I'm content being by myself.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's not always easy sitting alone in my thoughts, but I do know what I need to do when I'm starting to get overwhelmed on these things. Like, did I
yeah,
work out? Have I been praying to God? Have I gone to church? Have I been reading the Bible? The mind side.
yeah.
Have I been checking in with friends? Have I been talking about my problems? Have I been studying myself on my mind, on reading of like something to better myself too? Like, congratulations on your C10, by the way.
Thank you. I
You
finally
know,
figured it out.
yeah, I'm actually I'm gonna be following suit with on trying to figure that out. So I'm
I'm
gonna talk.
gonna
I'm
do.
gonna pick your
I'm gonna.
brain later on some questions.
I'm gonna
But like,
shoot you the course I took, man. Because,
perfect,
dude, it's invaluable. It's one.
perfect.
I highly recommend it.
That's exactly what I needed. I need some. I was gonna ask you about course content and like what program you went through. Um, but yeah, it's bettering your mind is what I want to say. Do not be stagnant. Always learn something new. Grow. Do not
Yeah.
stay stagnant. I can sit on my phone and look at and watch memes for hours when I could be bettering myself by reading a book and doing something else or working out. Setting your circle of friends. You know,
Yeah.
you surrounding yourself with friends that are still doing drugs and alcohol, that's okay to a certain point, but you don't want to like be
I'm
in
gonna
that
say
circle.
no. It's not okay. We're gonna be at
Well,
odds with this
my
one.
whole thing is, look, you can still have them as friends, but
Yep.
you're keeping a boundary. There's a distance. These might be lifetime friends, but the main point is set yourself up with a bigger circle of friends that
Yeah.
are successful, they're trying to grow, they want to own a business, you want to own a business. Those are the guys you
Oh
want to hang
yeah.
around
Definitely.
with. Like, I want to make money, I want to get my hustle on, I want to get that house. Like,
Oh heck yeah.
the people that are doing these things, those are the people you want to surround yourself with. Are like family oriented friends, or like people that are in the Christian community, or
Yeah.
yeah, or whatever religion you're at. Like, this is where I'm saying is surround yourself with the people that have the same interests as you on where you want to grow and be. So
Amen to
that
that.
that's a big point right there. Now that I've been able to grow and do all this stuff, I dedicate my time on I sponsor other kids that are in AA, but also I work for a company called Waves of Recovery. And
Oh yes. Tell us about that.
Waves of Recovery, man, these guys are great. I want you to go online, check them out. We're on Instagram. So not only do we help the community that's outside, our main thing is mental health. And yes, we are an AA based, um, to help out people that are in recovery, because that's kind of what helped out some of our workers and the co-founders. Um, but our main thing is mental health. And what we're talking about when I was saying body, mind, and spirit, we definitely talk about the mind side, but the body side of being able to work out and have a good outlet to do something. And Waves of Recovery is what we're doing is we're teaching people how to surf and to live a healthier life. So a lot of times it's we work with mental health facilities, and they have I work for the teen group right now. I take a bunch of teenagers out surfing, and I'm trying to
Mhm.
get these kids that are like some are fighting drug abuse, some are fighting cases because they're going to juvie to basically have this outlet that can save their lives instead of finding out like drugs and alcohol or gang banging is like the way of life they need to do. And
Yeah.
some of these kids are like from New York, dude, who've never even been in the ocean or like I don't know, in the middle of the states, and they come out to California, and we give these surf lessons, and I'm like, dude, it's like I've been in your shoes, I've done that. This isn't a healthy outlook, and dude, it's so rewarding to see these kids' faces just
Yeah.
smiles from ear to ear, and they're just can't believe like, man, I'm surfing in California and I feel great after, out in the sun having a blast. These guys are really great. Waves of Recovery. We also do sound baths. They give back to the community. We're about to start a free surf during, I believe, either June or July. We're going to start back up on this, where we do a free surf every Sunday. You can come on down. You just come register with us, and we give out free surf lessons. And
That's
basically,
awesome.
we ask for donations and things to help us out. But our main point was to help grow the community and teach everyone, because this is what helped save my life, and I want to share it with everyone else. Anyone that's actually has done surfing a little bit more, we also do a program where we take them out on a surf trip, and we kind of give a little personal one-on-one lessons, pointers on how to grow. We're actually, this year we're going to the Waco Wave Pool in Texas. So we're all going to fly out there. We got people from all over the states coming in, and it's such a blast, man. It's so
That's
much
awesome,
fun.
dude.
Yeah, I feel like you should bring your wife. You and your wife come down and come surf with us.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I'll watch from the shoreline.
it's cool, dude.
I'll
I'm
call it
CPR
I'll call it
certified,
shoreline
man.
therapy. All the people that are afraid of the water from the ghetto with no pools like me and can't swim.
It's funny because, dude, I was about to give a surf lesson, and this girl was like, "Oh, by the way, I don't know how to swim."
Did you tell her you're not going to swim? You're going to surf.
I
That's
was just like, I'm like, wow, okay, let's get you out there.
Oh yeah. Oh
But she
yeah.
actually ended up doing great, dude. She caught a few waves. Luckily, the spot where we're at, you're able to stand up, so it wasn't like super
She
bad.
survived. That's good.
Yeah, we have staff that's inside and outside of the surf, so it's kind of like
That's awesome.
we're always watching. But
Dude,
yeah,
that is awesome.
today I think we're doing a mental health project today on it's a paddle out to spread awareness for this month. So
That's awesome.
I
Where's that
know
at?
it's in Huntington Beach by the dog park. It's actually at 10 o'clock today, when I actually got to go in a little bit here, but luckily I live like 5 minutes away.
Lucky. I thought you were in
Yeah.
Hawaii. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Dude,
gonna have to fly over there right
are you
now.
gonna take your private jet?
Um,
Dude, that's all. I think people don't. I just want to say the benefit of what you guys are doing. That's awesome what you're doing, Nico. I love it.
Thank
The
you.
benefit of not just getting the information for recovery, but the relationship of interacting with somebody and doing an activity, that is huge. A lot of people, especially when they're young kids and they're on drugs, they're avoiding those activities with their parents. Maybe they have bad relationships with their parents, or maybe their parents aren't even there, and they're not having these interactions through activity with other people that are positive. They're, of course, maybe they're spray painting or doing drugs, or they have activities they're doing, but they're not positive, and they're not with positive people. And I remember just doing basic things with people. Like I've been involved with church for a number of years, and just being able, a young dude off drugs, still trying to figure the world out, packing shoebox presents to ship overseas, just with an older dude, older people, and getting to interact with them and talk to them and learn life lessons. That was huge because I didn't have those interactions. So I just want to say, man, that is awesome what you guys are doing, man. You need to send me all the links to all this stuff so that I could put them in the show notes or in the description of these videos.
Will
so
do.
people could look for you guys and get those surf lessons. And
Yeah.
hey, if you guys just want surf lessons, you just got to pretend like you're on drugs. No, I'm just playing.
No, no,
And-
no. We
you just got to
do
pretend
promote
like you're
like,
on drugs and
yeah,
go get
like
some surf lessons.
it's mental health. So dude, you could be going through just a tough time, and let's like I was saying, like maybe you lost somebody, um, or you're going through a divorce, or like
Yeah.
we're basically trying to point out, like, dude, we don't want you to use drugs or alcohol, but there's also the mental health of like, dude, I'm just feeling depressed. I need something else as a healthy outlet. And like, dude, these are the things we can do to help us out. I also want to shout out, like, please, if you guys have the time, or if you guys can help sponsor us on donations, please reach out to Sophie and Ryan. They're the ones who created this thing, and dude, anything helps, because
How do you get in touch with them?
um you guys can go through normally our Instagram. I'm gonna be throwing out some probably the emails for them, or the web page. And basically, if you can reach out, just like talk to them about donations or anything else, because what it is ultimately is that we set out to help out more people with mental health. On like, we'll either buy more boards. We actually try to sponsor people to come on this surf trip that actually can't afford it.
That's awesome.
They try to do these sound baths. They do little yoga meetups. So it's just like anything that can help out boost mental awareness. And like these guys give out all their time. And like I'm just so thankful. I actually found them on Instagram too.
Oh, nice.
I didn't find it. My sponsor found it, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I think this is right up your alley on to work with these guys." And I couldn't ask for a bigger like God moment where everything just fell into place, and I'm like, dude, I'm exactly where I need to be, and
That's
I'm
awesome.
super grateful for that. So
Dude, that is awesome.
yeah.
We're gonna have to do a part two to this soon, man, on when we actually talk about the job site stuff. I love
Mhm.
talking about the personal stuff. I think this is important to lay the foundation for, because me and you, we've worked with a very toxic foreman for a little
Oh,
while.
yes.
And I think we have some other experiences, and I wanted to lay the foundation in this one. And then maybe we could do another podcast where we start talking about some of our experiences on the job site. Because I want people to know that your home life and your work life aren't separate. You don't get to compartmentalize these things. They're entwined and they cannot be broken. And what how your work life affects you is gonna affect your home life, and your home life is gonna affect your work life. And you need to have a balance, you need to have harmony, you need to have mental, spiritual, emotional health, and it's available. And so I think next time we meet up, I want to talk about the work side of it, because I think there's a lot of people just so depressed, so weighed down, so stressed out, and they can't move forward in their personal life because their work life is just destroying them, and they don't have those they don't have the options because they don't have the information. But
100%.
Nico, dude, this was awesome. I appreciate you being vulnerable and coming back on. I don't know why you would after the last one we did. See, you were crazy. No, but the last one was awesome. This one was awesome. I'm gonna put information to all these things to the surf therapy. Again, your Instagram, so people could bug you. If anybody needs any help, with mental health, with emotional struggles that you guys are going with, reach out to us. And either we'll just share some information with you or point you in the right direction. Because we want to see you guys grow. We want to see you guys do well. We want to see you guys thrive, prosper, have peace, have joy, and just be all that you can be. Nico, anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Dude, I just wanted to say thank you for having me on here, and especially for getting vulnerable. It's not easy that we want to talk about these things, and good luck, you guys out there that are starting your battle with this and trying to seek out help. And I promise you, life is much better once you're able to process all these feelings. And you know, I truly want everyone to be happy and live a prosperous life. So just, you know, keep pushing through it. You know, like nothing you are doing isn't something that someone else can't relate to or be able to help you out with. So,
Yeah.
you know, like, yeah, I have sympathy for anyone who's going through these hard times. So, yeah, I think this is probably the best thing I could talk about right here. So I think that's all I got. I actually got to go to that paddle out like I was talking about.
You gotta go paddle out.
Yeah, we're
Sorry,
gonna
guys, I
go meet
gotta
up with
paddle
some
out.
other people that want to talk more about mental health. So
All
appreciate
right.
it.
With that said, Nico, have fun. Thank you again, man.
All right,
All
later,
right.
guys.
Peace.
Phew.